What if your relentless pursuit of a better you is stealing the life you're meant to live? Stop for a moment and feel that question sink in. When was the last time you felt truly content? Not just for a fleeting second, but deeply, wholly at peace with who you are. Was it a rare day when you weren't measuring yourself against some ideal? Or has it been so long it feels like a myth?
Most of us are caught in a chase, running after a version of ourselves we've been told to become. Smarter, richer, fitter, more successful, always more. But what if that perfect self is a phantom, a shimmering illusion that keeps you striving but never arriving? You're grasping at a shadow, and it's draining you dry. So, with a quiet urgency that cuts through the noise, ask yourself, are you chasing a self that doesn't exist? And how long will you let it pull you away from now? Here's the harsh, unfiltered truth. The obsession with self-improvement often traps you in a cage of inadequacy, where no matter how much you achieve, you're never enough. Every new goal, every new habit, every new book or course promising transformation. It's a seductive cycle, isn't it? You think each step will finally make you whole, but instead, it leaves you hungrier, always one flaw away from the finish line. The self-development world thrives on this hunger, feeding you visions of a better you, while quietly convincing you that the you right now is broken. You've felt it, haven't you? The exhaustion of chasing an ideal that shifts every time you get close. The sinking sense that you're falling short no matter how hard you try. This isn't progress, it's punishment, a treadmill you've built with your own hands. Why do you keep running toward a self that only exists in your doubts? Take Sarah, a driven professional in her 30s. She devoured self-help books, attended workshops, and tracked her progress with apps, convinced each would unlock her true potential. She worked late, hit the gym at dawn, and optimized every hour, chasing a vision of herself as confident, accomplished, flawless. But the harder she pushed, the emptier she felt. Burnout crept in, her relationships frayed, and joy became a stranger. The better Sarah was always out of reach, and the real Sarah was disappearing under the weight of her own expectations. She wasn't growing, she was unraveling, caught in the dark side of self-development where striving replaced living. You've been there too, haven't you? Every time you've pushed yourself to be more, every time you've judged yourself for falling short, every time you've sacrificed now for a promise of later. Sarah's story isn't just hers. It's a warning, a chance to see the trap before it tightens. The psychology is stark and sobering. Self-improvement often preys on your insecurities, amplifying a sense of lack that's wired into the human brain. We're primed to notice flaws, to compare, to seek safety and better. But when you buy into the idea that you need fixing, you're not just setting goals, you're setting traps. The critic in your head grows louder, whispering that you're not there yet, that you're still incomplete. Every unchecked ambition, every unexamined ideal, fuels this cycle, turning growth into a punishment. The world didn't force this on you. You've embraced it, every time you've let not enough drive your days. It's not ambition, it's a distortion, a belief that happiness waits just beyond the next milestone. Carl Rogers, the humanist psychologist, once said, "The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change." That's the heart of it. Your chase for a better self isn't freeing you, it's chaining you to a lie. True growth doesn't come from rejecting who you are. It comes from embracing it, flaws and all. But most won't see this. They'll keep chasing, calling it progress, their lives a blur of effort they mistake for purpose. They'll burn out, not because they're weak, but because they're blind to the truth that they're already enough. You've chased too, haven't you? Every time you've measured yourself against an ideal, every time you've let should outweigh is, every time you've hurt because you didn't pause. But chasing isn't your fate, not if you choose to stop. The tension is electric, a pulse that demands your attention. Your life is slipping through your fingers, not because you're failing, but because you're chasing a ghost. Every day you spend striving for a self that doesn't exist, you're losing the one that does, the one who's messy, human, and whole. The self-development industry wants you hungry, a consumer of endless fixes, but you're not a product. You're a person, and it's time to reclaim your story. The critic's voice is loud, but your truth is louder, waiting for you to listen. To break this cycle, start with self-observation, the skill of noticing your self-critical thoughts without letting them take the wheel. It's not about silencing them, it's about seeing them clearly, like clouds passing through your mind. Each day, pause for a moment. When do you feel not enough? Is it when you scroll through social media, compare your progress, or miss a goal? Write it down, one thought, one trigger, one moment. Don't judge it, don't fight it. Just observe it, letting it exist without pulling you under. This practice is your first step, a crack in the illusion of perfectionism. Do it daily, and you'll start to see the patterns, the lies you've bought, the ideals you've chased, that keep you trapped. Self-observation is your lens, the kind that reveals the truth beneath the noise. The urgency is now, a fire that won't wait. Self-observation is your rebellion, a stand against the chase that's been running you ragged, a move toward a life where you, not some ideal, define your worth. Most won't do it. They'll stay on the treadmill, their lives a loop of striving they call growth, their freedom lost to a phantom they never questioned. They'll ache, not from lack, but from ignorance, ignorant of the power they hold to stop. You've been there too, haven't you? Every time you've let better overshadow enough. Every time you've pushed past your limits. Every time you've broken because you didn't see. But that's not your story's end. You're a seeker, a spark, a soul that can rise if you dare to pause. This is your crossroads, chase or reclaim. The path isn't easy. It's a reckoning with the ideals that have held you hostage. But it's a path worth taking, leading to a life where you live, not just strive. Think of the cost of chasing, the joy you've deferred, the peace you've delayed, the you that's been buried under not yet. Those aren't losses, they're signposts, pointing to the strength you've yet to claim. The chase isn't your master, not unless you let it be. You're still here, still breathing, still carrying a light it can't dim. So stop now, right now, and vow to notice one self-critical thought today. Write it down, see it, and start the work of breaking free. The journey begins here. Take the first step, and let your real self breathe. What if the perfect self you're chasing is a mirage, pulling you further from the person you truly are? Take a breath and let that question settle. When did you last feel at ease with yourself, not because you'd achieved some grand milestone, but simply because you were you? Was it a quiet moment before the world's expectations crept in? Or has it been so long it feels like a stranger's memory? The self-development world sells a seductive lie. That more discipline, more success, more polish equals better. But what if this endless drive for perfection isn't lifting you up? What if it's a trap, caging you in a cycle of striving that strips away your joy, your authenticity, your now? So with a spark of urgency, ask yourself, are you chasing a flawless self at the cost of the one that's real? The quest for perfection doesn't make you better. It makes you brittle, always one step from feeling like a failure. You know the drill, set a goal, hit it, and instead of peace, you're already eyeing the next hurdle. A promotion isn't enough, you need a corner office. A good day at the gym demands a perfect body. A kind act needs to be selfless to count. Each step forward only tightens the noose, whispering that you're still not there, still not enough. The self-improvement industry thrives on this. It's not designed to free you. It's built to keep you hooked, always reaching for a better that never arrives. You've felt this, haven't you? The ache of never measuring up, the exhaustion of a race where the finish line keeps moving. This isn't growth, it's a prison, and you've been locking the door yourself. Why do you keep chasing more when it only leaves you with less? Consider Alex, a young entrepreneur swept up in the hustle culture. He devoured productivity podcasts, tracked every habit, and pushed himself to embody the ideal founder. Relentless, polished, always on. He hit milestones. His startup grew, investors called, articles praised him. But inside, he was crumbling. Sleepless nights, strained friendships, a gnawing sense that no success was enough. The more he chased perfection, the more he lost himself. His creativity dulled, his laughter faded, his life became a checklist. Alex wasn't thriving. He was suffocating under the weight of an ideal that didn't fit. His story isn't rare, it's a warning, a glimpse of what happens when perfectionism hijacks growth. You've been there too, haven't you? Every time you've pushed past your limits, every time you've judged yourself for being human, every time you've traded joy for the grind. Alex's trap is yours, unless you choose to break free. Perfectionism, often masked as ambition, is a thief. It's rooted in fear of failure, of judgment, of being seen as less. Your brain, wired to seek safety, latches onto the idea that perfect will protect you, but it's a lie. Studies show perfectionists are more prone to anxiety, depression, and burnout, not because they aim high, but because they never let themselves rest. The self-development world amplifies this, bombarding you with images of flawless lives and endless hacks, turning your growth into a performance. Every unexamined push for more, every moment you reject your current self, fuels this trap. It's not progress, it's a cycle, one that keeps you tethered to inadequacy. When you are content to be simply yourself and don't compare or compete, everybody will respect you. Here's the paradox. True growth begins when you stop trying to fix yourself and start embracing who you are. Perfectionism pulls you away from this, demanding a self that's always out of reach, while the real you, flawed, messy, human, waits to be seen. Most won't see it. They'll keep grinding, calling it discipline, their lives a treadmill of effort they mistake for meaning. They'll break, not because they're weak, but because they're chasing a lie. You've chased it too, haven't you? Every time you've let perfect drown out enough. Every time you've strived instead of lived. Every time you've hurt because you didn't accept yourself. But chasing isn't your destiny. You're a creator, a soul ready to rise if you dare to pause. The drama surges here, a tension that grips your core. Your life is a canvas, but you've been painting over it, covering your colors with the dull shades of perfection. Every day you chase more. You're not just missing joy, you're missing you. The self-improvement machine wants you endlessly striving, a cog in its cycle of want. But you're not a cog. You're a flame, flickering under a weight you don't need. The critic's voice, the one demanding flawlessness, is loud, but your authenticity is louder, waiting for you to claim it. To escape this trap, you must learn radical acceptance, the skill of embracing your flaws as part of your humanity, not as problems to solve. It's not about giving up on growth. It's about grounding it in truth. Each day, pick one thing you've judged as a flaw, maybe your impatience, your messy desk, your uneven progress. Write it down and say, "This is part of me, and that's okay." Feel the resistance, the urge to fix it, and let it pass. This act is your rebellion, a refusal to let perfectionism define you. Practice it daily, and you'll feel the shift, the critic's grip loosening, your real self breathing freer. Radical acceptance is your key, the kind that unlocks a life where you're enough as you are. The urgency burns now, a call you can't ignore. Radical acceptance is your defiance, a stand against the trap that's kept you running, a step toward a life where you, not some ideal, shine. Most won't take it. They'll stay caught, their lives a loop of fixes they call growth, their freedom lost to a standard they never questioned. They'll suffer, not from lack, but from blindness, blind to the beauty of their own imperfection. You've been blind too, haven't you? Every time you've let better trump real. Every time you've pushed yourself to breaking. Every time you've ached because you didn't rest. But blindness isn't your truth. You're a seeker, a spark, a soul that can soar if you embrace what's true. This is your moment. Break free or stay trapped. The path isn't simple. It's a confrontation with the perfectionism that's held you back. But it's a path worth walking, leading to a life where you live, not just strive. Think of what you've lost to this chase, the moments you've missed, the peace you've postponed, the you that's been buried under not yet. Those aren't gone. They're fuel, pointing to the strength you've yet to wield. Perfection isn't your master, not unless you let it be. You're still here, still alive, still holding a light it can't dim. So stop now, right now, and vow to embrace one flaw today. Write it down, accept it, and start the work of living as you are. The trap is open. Step out and let your real self take root. Why do you measure your worth against someone else's highlight reel, when your story is yours alone? Pause and let that question burn. When was the last time you felt truly content with your own path, untouched by the shadow of someone else's success? Was it before you scrolled through polished lives online, or has it been so long it feels like a forgotten language? In the pursuit of self-development, we often fall into a silent trap, comparison. It's a game that promises inspiration but delivers poison, turning your journey into a race you were never meant to run. You're not just growing, you're losing yourself piece by piece to the illusion of others' perfection. So, with a fierce urgency, ask yourself, are you diminishing your light to chase someone else's glow? And how long will you play this losing game? Comparison doesn't fuel your growth. It fractures it, turning your unique path into a contest you can't win. Every time you size yourself up against another's achievements, you're not just admiring, you're judging, carving away at your own worth. Their promotion, their flawless posts, their effortless confidence. It stings, doesn't it? Not because you're failing, but because you've bought the lie that their story defines yours. The self-development world feeds this, bombarding you with curated success stories, urging you to match their pace, their shine, their everything. But here's the kicker. Every glance at their better is a theft from your own enough. You've felt it, haven't you? The quiet ache of falling short, the gnawing envy that sours your wins, the way comparison twists your progress into failure. This isn't motivation, it's erosion, and you've been handing over the chisel. Why do you keep comparing when it only dims your spark? Consider Maya, a graphic designer who loved her craft but spiraled into despair scrolling through Instagram. She saw peers with viral portfolios, sleek websites, and thousands of followers, and her own work, thoughtful, original, felt inadequate. "They're so far ahead," her mind whispered. "I'll never catch up." She stopped creating, paralyzed by the gap between her reality and their polished facades. Her confidence crumbled, her passion faded, and her days filled with self-doubt. Maya wasn't failing, she was drowning in comparison, measuring her behind the scenes against others' highlight reels. Her story is a mirror, reflecting the cost of this game. You've been there too, haven't you? Every time you've scrolled and felt small, every time you've let someone's shine eclipse your own, every time you've stalled because you didn't match their stride. Maya's loss is a warning, unless you choose to rewrite the rules. The psychology is as stark as it is insidious. Comparison is hardwired into us, evolutionary instincts to gauge our place in the tribe. But in today's digital age, it's a runaway train. Social media amplifies this, curating lives that seem flawless, triggering what psychologists call upward social comparison. Your brain fixates on their gains, ignoring your own, and shame creeps in, whispering you're not enough. The self-development industry piles on, showcasing success stories as benchmarks, not inspiration, pushing you to chase others' paths instead of forging your own. Every unexamined glance, every moment you let their better define your less, tightens this trap. It's not growth, it's theft, robbing you of the joy in your own journey. Theodore Roosevelt's words ring true. Comparison is the thief of joy. This isn't just a quip, it's a lifeline, a reminder that your worth isn't a contest. True growth doesn't come from outshining others. It comes from tending your own light, however it flickers. But most won't see this. They'll keep playing the game, their lives a cycle of envy and inadequacy they mistake for ambition. They'll fade, not because they're less, but because they're distracted from the beauty of their own path. You've played too, haven't you? Every time you've let their success dim yours, every time you've judged your pace by their sprint, every time you've hurt because you didn't measure up. But playing isn't your fate. You're a creator, a soul ready to rise if you shift your gaze. The drama pulses here, a tension that grips your heart. Your life is a story, but you've been rewriting it to fit someone else's plot. Every time you compare, you're not just doubting, you're disappearing, letting their narrative overwrite yours. The world wants you chasing, a player in its game of endless better. But you're not a player. You're a poet, a force with a story only you can tell. The critic's voice, the one sizing you up against others, is loud, but your truth is louder, waiting for you to claim it. To escape this game, you must learn gratitude focus, the skill of anchoring yourself in your own journey, not theirs. It's not about ignoring others, it's about celebrating what's yours. Each day, write down 3 things you value about your progress, maybe a skill you've honed, a moment you showed up, a step you took despite fear. Be specific. I finished that project. I spoke my mind. I kept going. Keep this list close, a shield against the urge to compare. When you feel the pull to measure up, read it, feel it, let it ground you in your own enough. This practice is your rebellion, a refusal to let comparison steal your joy. Do it daily, and the shift begins. Their shine no longer dims yours, your path grows clearer. Gratitude focus is your compass, the kind that guides you back to yourself. The urgency is now, a fire that demands action. Gratitude focus is your defiance, a stand against the game that's kept you small, a stride toward a life where your story shines. Most won't break free. They'll stay trapped, their lives a blur of others' wins they call failure, their freedom lost to a glance they never questioned. They'll ache, not from lack, but from blindness, blind to the richness of their own journey. You've been blind too, haven't you? Every time you've let their light outshine yours, every time you've slowed your pace to match theirs, every time you've broken because you didn't look inward. But blindness isn't your truth. You're a seeker, a spark, a soul that can soar if you turn your eyes to your own path. This is your moment. Reclaim your story or lose it to the game. The path isn't easy. It's a reckoning with the comparisons that have held you back. But it's a path worth walking, leading to a life where you run your own race, not theirs. Think of what you've lost to this trap, the confidence you've buried, the joy you've deferred, the you that's been overshadowed by their glow. Those aren't gone, they're fuel, pointing to the strength you've yet to wield. Comparison isn't your master, not unless you let it be. You're still here, still breathing, still holding a light it can't snuff out. So stop now, right now, and vow to write down 3 things you're grateful for in your journey today. List them, feel them, and start the work of living your story. The game is over. Step out and let your own light lead the way. Your life is happening now. Don't let the pursuit of a perfect self steal another moment. Imagine waking each day not to the weight of endless goals or the shadow of others' shine, but to a life that feels fiercely, fully yours. Can you feel it? A world where your flaws are not failures but brushstrokes in a masterpiece, where growth is a dance with your authentic self, not a chase for an ideal that doesn't exist. This isn't a gentle nudge. It's a thunderous call to break free from the dark side of self-development, to stop running and start living. The time to reclaim your joy, your truth, your now is today. So, with a fire that demands action, ask yourself, can you grow so boldly that your imperfections become your strength, your journey your triumph? Most people will stay trapped in the self-improvement spiral, chasing ideals that erode their authenticity and dim their light. They'll spend their days striving for a better self, measuring their worth against others, and fixing what was never broken, all while life passes them by. They'll call it progress, but it's a prison, a cycle of want that leaves them empty, their freedom lost to a vision of perfection they never questioned. You've felt this pull too, haven't you? Every time you've pushed yourself to be more. Every time you've compared your path to another's. Every time you've let the need to improve drown out the beauty of who you are. But you're not destined to stay there. You're here, awake, with a chance to rewrite the story. The question is, will you answer the call? Your life isn't a rehearsal. It's happening now, and every moment you spend chasing a perfect self is a moment you're not living. You've seen the cost, the burnout from endless striving, the hollowness of comparison, the quiet despair of never feeling enough. The self-development industry wants you hungry, a perpetual seeker of fixes, but you're not a project. You're a person, a soul with a story that doesn't need polishing to shine. The critic's voice, the one demanding you keep up, is loud, but your truth is louder, ready to rise if you'll let it. Carl Rogers' words cut to the core. The curious paradox is that when I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. This is the heart of the matter. True growth isn't about erasing your flaws or outshining others. It's about embracing your humanity and striving from a place of wholeness. You've learned to see the traps, perfectionism's chokehold, comparison's theft, the illusion of endless more. And now it's time to act. Most won't. They'll stay tethered, their lives a blur of effort they mistake for purpose, their freedom buried under ideals they never challenged. They'll ache, not because they're less, but because they're asleep, blind to the life waiting beyond the chase. You've been asleep too, haven't you? Every time you've let the critic rule, every time you've compared your light to theirs, every time you've hurt because you didn't embrace yourself. But sleep isn't your story. You're a creator, a spark, a soul that can live fully if you choose to strive wisely. This call demands more than reflection. It demands action, a rebellion against the forces that have kept you small. You've felt the weight of conforming to a script that's not yours. Every time you've pushed past your limits, every time you've let others' success define your worth. Those moments don't define you. They're shadows cast by a light you've yet to fully claim. The self-improvement spiral promises progress, but delivers only fatigue. You're not here to chase. You're here to live, to grow in a way that honors your truth, not some polished ideal. To live fully, you must master sustained balance, the skill of aligning your growth with nourishment, not punishment. This isn't about abandoning ambition. It's about ensuring it serves you, not consumes you. Each day, check in with yourself. Does this goal, this habit, this effort feel like a step toward joy or a lash from the critic? Write down one growth practice, maybe journaling, a walk, or learning a skill. And ask, does this feed my soul or my doubts? If it's the latter, adjust, scale back, shift focus, choose something kinder. This daily check-in is your anchor, a way to keep your growth grounded in authenticity. Practice it consistently, and you'll feel the shift, the critic's voice fading, your true self stepping forward. Sustained balance is your shield, the kind that protects your light while letting it grow. The urgency is electric, a pulse that won't wait. Sustained balance is your defiance, a stand against the spiral that's held you back, a stride toward a life where growth is a joy, not a grind. Most won't choose it. They'll keep chasing, their lives a loop of fixes they call progress, their freedom lost to a dream they never questioned. They'll break, not from lack, but from distraction, distracted from the beauty of their own enough. You've been distracted too, haven't you? Every time you've let better trump real. Every time you've strived to exhaustion. Every time you've faltered because you didn't listen to yourself. But distraction isn't your truth. You're a flame, a seeker, a soul that can shine if you tend to your own fire. This is your moment. Live fully or keep chasing. The path isn't effortless. It's a reckoning with the habits that have dimmed your light. But it's a path worth walking, leading to a life where you strive wisely, not blindly. Think of what you've lost to this spiral, the peace,